Talk to me about, actually, I'm going to ask you a question that I'm curious about. So I've been really enjoying, similar to blockchain and cannabis and sports betting, the notion of esports teams. Watching a lot of people deploy the logic around something is, this is where I get interested. I think this is from afar, and then, it's very clear to me listening to you. There's a lot of things that we cross over and agreeing on. I'm fascinated by people's inability to synthesize things in lieu of what they hope or emotionally or financially want to happen. Watching people deploy esports strategies in today's environment's fascinating because much like what you did to whoever says to you, we're going to do this blockchain thing, I always say the same thing. I'm like, please explain to me why you think League of Legends is like the Major League Baseball system.
Right.
And when you get into even a basic first question and you watch people dance in front of you, now that I've got a better framework of how you process, and it's probably why I like you, what's your take on the esports ecosystem around the IP holders versus how the teams think they're going to conglomerate the power?
So we're in the business, right?
Yep.
So we eat our own cooking.
Yes.
But our view is that, like major sports, we believe in esports. There are 250 million people who watch esports. There are a whole bunch of people who play.
You're preaching.
So for sure it's real. It is, however, the League of Legends business, and it's $1 billion business. Yep. And in our world, video game business alone, never mind the media business, never mind the sports business, video game business is $130 billion a year currently. Yep. Esports is $1 billion. Yep. It's a teeny little business, and the bulk of the market is League of Legends. And I say that as someone who's a competitor. We have the NBA 2K League.
Yep.
So I think there'll be somewhere between 3 and 7 powerful esports that will develop in the same way that there are between 3 and 7 professional sports leagues that truly matter. You got football, you got baseball, you got soccer, especially worldwide. So you
believe some of these IPs will come out, really lock in,
and absolutely will create,
and then will become,
and they'll become very valuable.
Yep. And do you think teams will be able to sit on top and play in all of them, individual?
So I don't see a world, and this is perhaps wrong.
Yeah,
this is speculative, where you.
The good news is, for all the things we've been right about, we've been wrong
many times, right?
Yep.
And what I say to people actually, and they ask my advice, especially when they're entrepreneurs, is this is one person's advice. But if you ask the great entrepreneurs, if when they talk to people about their ideas, people all said, high five, that's awesome. That didn't happen. So you shouldn't listen to my ideas. If you truly believe, you should go do it. But in the case of esports, I have to eat my own cooking. I'm betting on, I'm paying for it.
Yes.
So what we said is, look, people love playing NBA 2K. It's the biggest sports title in the US, has been for years. People love competing in NBA 2K. They're doing it anyhow.
Yep.
So wouldn't it be sensible to have teams that compete at NBA 2K and then broadcast, if you will, we're on Twitch, those games? That seems to stand to reason. And so that's why we're going for it. Do I think those teams should be both NBA 2K and League of Legends and Overwatch? There's no real analogy for that in professional sports. I'm a little skeptical. I think if you want to be the best NBA 2K player,
Deion Sanders might just pop out of the side here.
Yeah, it's possible, and it's a different skill set.
No question.
But I think if you want to be the best NBA 2K player, you're probably not also going to be the best Overwatch player.
What I think is most interesting about what you're saying to me is, will they bake? Will 3 to 7 titles bake? Or because of the notion of the framework, different than creating a ball-centric sport, which is what we're coming from, where literally, look, EA just has a hit in a short. Like, will it be more like the movie and television business, where in perpetuity there will be games that capture 3, 4, 5 years? Or are you saying Marvel, Star Wars?
I'm more saying that.
I know that's what you're saying.
Because it's a sport.
But in Marvel and Star Wars, there still will be a Forrest Gump. There still will be, right? And so it'll be interesting if I'm actually just literally as you're talking, like, ooh, so maybe it bakes 3 to 7, or maybe it bakes 6, and you're always in an environment where another 4 are always getting 5-year runs and 7-year runs versus the kind of 5 that get a 40-year run. I don't know.
I'm skeptical only because team play and watching team play seems to cluster around these very ancient forms. But you know what? This could be an example where history just isn't a guide of the future, because after all, League of Legends does not look like hockey, football, baseball, or soccer.
That's right.
So it remains to be seen. I feel very good about our bet, because I feel like it's right in the pocket.
You're doubling down.
Yeah,
yours
it's right in the
is,
pocket. But